Workbook.
Listening.
6.
New Orleans, in the southern U.S. state of Louisiana, is a city famous for its jazz music, its Mardi Gras festival, and the relaxed approach to life of its 480,000 residents. On the 29th of August 2005, all that changed when Hurricane Katrina arrived. First of all, winds of up to 130 kilometers per hour hit the city, damaging property and breaking electricity power lines. Many people, including the army, had warned that a hurricane of this strength could cause lots of damage and thousands of deaths. But no one seemed prepared for what was going to happen in the days following Katrina's arrival. Here's local resident Jim Greengrass.
When Katrina blew into the city, we knew it was time to leave. Although the winds hadn't caused that much damage, everyone was talking about what would happen if the levees broke.
A levee is a wall that is built at the side of a river to stop it from flooding. In New Orleans, the levees are vital as the city is below sea level and sits between the Mississippi River and Lake Pontchartrain. It is only the levees that stop New Orleans from being underwater permanently. The storms caused Lake Pontchartrain to rise by about a metre. This extra water was enough to break the levees in 3 places across the city, immediately flooding large areas and making thousands of people homeless. 80% of New Orleans was soon underwater. Most of the residents who stayed in the city were poor and had nowhere to go. The authorities had problems getting help to them, as most of the roads into and out of the city were cut off. There was no electricity and no fresh water. The world watched as people in the city went hungry. To stay alive, people had to steal food and water from shops. Howard Leyland was one of those people who stayed.
It was like hell on earth. There was nothing to eat. People were getting hungry and angry. Old people were dying from the heat, the lack of food and water. The smell was awful. But the worst thing of all was that nobody was helping us. We felt like America had forgotten the people of New Orleans. It broke my heart then, and it still does today.
Eventually, the help came. The authorities sent 58,000 soldiers to help with the aftermath, and the government gave over $60 billion in aid for the victims. But despite this, over 1,500 people were killed by Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, and hundreds of thousands of people lost their homes. The city of New Orleans and its people will never forget that day in August 2005 when Hurricane Katrina blew into town.